Hello, my name is Jason Beach, and in this screencast I'm going to show you how you can use Microsoft Excel to make a basic gradebook. Now I'm using Microsoft Office 2011 for the Macintosh, but it doesn't matter if you're on a Mac or a Windows machine using Office because the functions of Excel really have not changed. As a matter of fact, you can find all the same options up here within the File menu. So I'm going to start off with a basic gradebook, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line up here at the top that I can merge together. This will give us an area that we can type in our school's name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first cell, and then click and hold, and then highlight the rest of them. I'm going to go over to column F, and then I'm going to press merge. Now it's going to take that one cell and turn it into one long cell within all of those columns. If you don't have that merge button, what you could do is go up to Format, Cells, and then within that box you can choose Alignment and then Merge Cells. You'll be able to find this same process in all versions of Microsoft Excel. Let's do that and press OK, and then I can go ahead and type in my school's name. So I'm just going to click once to select it and then double click to enter it. I'm going to go ahead and type in the school's name. And if I want to center it, I can do that. So I've got my text centered. I can also go in and change the font style if I wanted to. You see, you have plenty of font options to work with. And of course the font size, make it a little easier to read. So there we go. And now I need to type in some sections for my student names. I'm going to type in names there. And in this basic gradebook, I'm just going to have test. And then a final grade. And I'm going to go ahead and type in some just random names. Okay, and then just put in some fictional grades. Now these grades are going to be based off of a 100-point scale. I'm going to go ahead and change these grades here. Something a little bit more closer to what I want to talk about. Okay, so I've got my grades in, and you notice I've just got a few grades here. Within the final grade block, I'm going to go ahead and select that just to highlight it, and I can type in a formula manually. Now, I know this is tedious, especially if you know how to use the AutoSum features, but it's the basics of understanding how Microsoft Excel works, and it's not that difficult. So the first things first, I'm going to select that final grade cell, and I'm going to type in the equal sign, and I'm going to type the word average. Okay, and that's letting the Microsoft program know that I'm going to average some grades, and I'm going to use a parentheses to set up parameters. And in this case, my first grade appears for J. Smith as B3. So I'm going to, since it's capitalized, I'm going to choose B and then 3, and notice it highlights that cell, letting you know that's the one that you've typed in. And then I'm going to type in a colon, that means through, or include all of. And I'm also, let's see here, going to use the column E, and this will be E3 as well. And then I'm going to close my parentheses, and you can see that that is that chunk of numbers that I want to average. Now again, these grades are not weighted, they're all worth the same amount, and this is the basic gradebook. So once I've finished doing that, I can press the F of X symbol, and it's going to check my work, It's going to let me know that I'm going to be averaging these grades, and it gives me the list, and then gives me the results. And if I'm satisfied with that, I can press the return or enter key on the keyboard, and it'll automatically average those grades for you. Now, obviously, that's the long process. But again, I'm showing you the basics so that you can understand what goes into writing formulas, which will help you when we get into the advanced version of making a gradebook. Okay? Now, the easier way, of course, is to just highlight all of these grades, including the empty grade, final grade spot, and then going up to the sigma sign, and then next to its little down arrow, if you just click that little down arrow, you can press average, and it'll automatically average the grades. And even better, you can highlight multiple sets of grades and average them all at the exact same time using this process. So there you go. Now, why is it important to use Excel or a gradebook program to average your grades and keep track of your grades? Because if you need to go back and make a change to your grade, you can easily do that, and you don't have to re-average all of your students' grades. For example, let's say that I find that L. Low here cheated on this test. I can change this from an 87 to, let's say, a 0, and watch what happens to this student's final grade. It drops it down to a 28, so it automatically will calculate those changes. Okay? Another way that you can use this as a teacher is to determine how well the students understood the test content. Again, just taking all of these grades this way, leaving an open space there, and then going in, finding the autosum, and then averaging what that test grade was. That was a 55. So I need to go back and cover that material again. So this is a great way of kind of reflecting on your work as a teacher.